Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Emily.
Welcome to our first LinkedIn Live. We're new
Yes,
at this.
thank you. Happy to be here and happy Friday.
Yes, happy Friday. And thanks to everyone for giving us grace as we navigate this as first timers. We are here to talk about Reverb's Management Training 101 course. And I'm so excited to have you joining me. So thank you again for being part of the conversation. I thought I'd kick off with quick introductions and then I'll flip it over to you so that you can also say a few things about yourself. But I'm Emily. I'm Reverb's practice director for leadership development. I love helping our clients think about how to put amazing people development solutions and support in place. And Kelly and I have had the pleasure of working together and thinking through how we can support her managers. So Kelly, please do a little intro.
Yeah. Well, thank you for inviting me to do this. I'm more than happy to be here. Yeah, so a little bit about myself. I'm Kelly, and I work for a company called RareCyte. We are a Seattle-based biotech company, and our focus is on rare cell analysis. We're about 70 employees right now, and I am, like Emily said, the HR manager, and I think you can see in my little label. Side note, I actually participate in a job share for the HR manager position, and it is absolutely fantastic if someone is, looking to be part-time, but is head of a department or a big team or whatever the case may be. A job share is perfect for that. So I won't spend any more time on that, but if we ever want to do a LinkedIn Live event on that, I'm more than happy
to. Yeah. And I think that's a great shout out to RareCyte that they support that flexibility and inclusive culture for you and your job share partner. So
yeah, it's
totally do a LinkedIn Live on that. That would be an amazing conversation. Well, I thought I would just give some quick overviews about the Management Training 101 course for anyone who is listening today or perhaps is going to be watching a recording of us. Thanks to everyone who is here now or joining later. So Management Training 101 is an online self-paced course. It includes a lot around manager fundamentals, but also other important leadership skills that people leaders need to be effective in leading their teams. It covers things like feedback, navigating conflict, communicating with candor, how to employ amazing coaching skills, along with just core manager foundations. What's amazing about the course is it's a great solution for either individuals or groups. So if you're someone that's just looking to, either brush up on some skills, or maybe you're a first time or a new manager, it's a great option for you. Or if you're someone like Kelly who has a group of managers that you're looking to support, then this can be an awesome option for you as well. Let's see, it can be kind of something that's standalone, it really is pretty comprehensive, or it can be something that you incorporate into your broader people development strategy. So at Reverb, we aim to be really flexible and accommodating, and we're happy to partner and work with you, to meet whatever your needs are. So any other preamble that you would give about the course, Kelly?
No, you hit everything. I think perfect, which is why we wanted to try this. And so I think you did a great job.
Okay. So Kelly and I just thought that we would have a little conversation to share what her experience has been with the course and for her managers at RareCyte. And so Kelly, I was hoping that you could share with everyone, what initially pushed you or brought you to try out this course, Management Training 101 for your managers.
Yeah, that's actually a really good place to start. So pre-pandemic and through COVID, or the height of COVID, if you will, RareCyte was relatively small. We had, steady growth. And so I think it was a late 2021 and early 2022, we had a hiring spree. We grew quite a bit, the workforce. And so naturally the management group grew as well. And so my job share partner and I felt that this was the perfect time to start bringing more structure and kind of formalizing our, I think you called it people development program or strategy. I really like that terminology. I'm going to use it. And, we decided our first step would be to kind of align everyone's knowledge on management, because since we did have some growth, we had quite a range of experience and prior training. So we thought the first good step was to align everyone's knowledge. And so we wanted a training, like you said, that was comprehensive, flexible, not super expensive. We are a startup.
Wow.
And are funded. So yeah, always top of mind. But that it was easy to roll out too, since it's just me and my job share partner. So where am I going with this? So we set out to do some research, and out of habit, I stopped at the Reverb website. And I say that because I've actually used Reverb for a few other things, because I've mainly worked for small companies, and you all do a great job supporting us small HR teams, being flexible, I think you said. So I noticed you had this program, and it was perfect for us. It was online, set our own pace. You purchase it, you have a whole year to complete it. I like that it, introduced management just enough, like everything you need to know. And then we really liked the, I'll call it the choose your own learning element, where you have the resource library, right? So if someone wants to extend their learning on a certain topic, they could do that. So we really like that. And, we do want to continue to, as managers come in, have them go through this training. So that's what pushed us to look for a training like this. And then that's how I ended up using it and here today.
Yeah, lovely. Well, there's a couple of things that you shared that I think have been true for other clients of ours as well, which is I do think that some folks have really thought about wanting, I don't know, kind of like a common core foundation or language. And so that's been important to them. So I'm so grateful that we were able to help you with that. The other piece is that while it is self-paced and kind of you can navigate, in whatever way suits you as a learner, the other thing that can be useful to folks, and I can't recall if you and your managers ended up using this at all, but there are PACE calendars as well. So like if you are putting a group through, then you can follow one of the PACE calendars so that your cohort is kind of aligning to the same timeline in terms of content. That also, I think, helps with like accountability too. So, yeah.
Yes, we love we call it plug and play. It was perfect. Like you could just plug and play and you're off and running. So that was so nice. It was set up that way.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess you did a really lovely job too of highlighting, like there is the course, but there's also the resource library. And it's almost like that's this really big added bonus. A lot of times when I'm talking to folks too about like all the different components that come with Management Training 101, I share that the resource library is a place where people can like kind of like double click or dive deeper if there's something they're really interested in learning more about. It's also like a really great thing for once you're done with the course, if you want to have, support and, materials that you want to dive into later as you continue on your journey. Like you mentioned, you have access for an entire year. So that's a way that you can do some like other self-directed learning, or some of our clients have leveraged that to have like internal discussions amongst their manager groups. So there's just a lot of like different options of how you can use it.
Yes.
Okay. So you mentioned that you reached out to us because you were growing and bringing on new managers and wanting like a foundation for folks. What did manager training or support look like for folks at RareCyte, like pre-Management Training 101?
Yes. I knew this question was going to come up. It always does, right? Where are you going? So where have you been? So I will say it was on the lighter side. We were small workforce, small management group. So, it's a little bit, it's easier for HR to work closer with each manager as things came up, work through things, recommend resources and training. We did have documentation that we shared, with new managers and incoming managers. Like these are at least the things we need you to do, right? Like one-on-ones, career development, goal setting, so on and so forth. But long answer short, it was definitely on the lighter side.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we made you and your job share partners' jobs like a little bit easier. So now we have an area, a tool, a resource where they can, focus on skill development. And then you still can provide like that one support that many managers still need from their HR partners. So
yes, definitely.
Okay, so I want to hear about the experience of your managers. How did you find that management training 101 helped your managers at RareCyte?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think I'll first start with the new managers. And by new managers, I mean like first-time managers. They hugely appreciated literally being handed a playbook, via the training, but like they got a workbook too. Yeah. I don't know how often that happens. You get promoted into a manager position and you're given a book on like, here are all the things you need to know. Here's exactly what to do. And here are ways to do it. And so they hugely appreciated that. And I did too. As far as like our more seasoned, experienced managers, this course was a great refresher for them. They also learned some new things. Obviously, I remember one manager came into a check-in meeting. And I don't know if you mentioned this, but one of the practices that Reverb recommends is that you set these check-in meetings throughout the training. And yes, it helps keep pace, but it allows for discussion on content. And so we did that. And so one manager walked in and he was like, triangulation, this so happened to me last week and I want to talk about it. And we're like, okay, yes, the floor is yours. We'll talk about it. So I absolutely love that. And of course, all the managers really liked the like tools that they could leave the training with. So that being like one pagers on conflict resolution or sample sayings on coaching and the professional development plan template and just guides and things that they can actually like print out or make copies of and reference later as it comes up. So that obviously was super supportive and helpful. But I think what wasn't so obvious, but was a huge value add. So I mentioned the check-in meetings.
Yeah.
And this was really cool. So, we scheduled these meetings and it was cool to see how quickly the managers came to see this meeting as a resource for them and not just a like, hey, I'm here so the teacher knows that I'm doing my homework.
Yeah.
sort of thing. So everyone leaned in, used it as a resource for themselves and for others. And it really kind of created a sense of community amongst managers here at RareCyte. It showed them that, yes, you have HR as a resource, but you also have your peers.
Yeah.
And they were so helpful that we're actually going to, once this round of training ends and these new managers finish, we're going to do quarterly quarterly manager roundtables to continue to meet and just talk about topics and stuff. So, there's lots of ways this training has been supportive. So
yeah, I love hearing all of that. I think that building community and having like a group of your peers that you can rely on and also just like be able to talk through shared experiences and or exchange like best practices and work through challenges together is so critical, because being a people leader, a manager can feel really lonely. And especially when you're like new to people leadership, it's such a big learning curve. A lot of times you're navigating other things, like maybe you received a promotion over your peers and that can be difficult. So just having like a new group of support is so important. And I was so glad that you sort of embraced like having those check-in meetings. It's something that I talk with clients a lot about when we're thinking about this course, is just how can you embed other support and accountability around it? It's great. It can stand on its own, and you can enhance it even more if you think about some other opportunities. So even if you were, an individual manager going through this, like finding a peer or a friend that also maybe you could have some of those like debrief conversations with is so helpful.
Yeah. Totally.
Okay. Were there any parts of the course or the experience that were, I don't know, either surprising or challenging to you or your managers?
Yeah. That's another good question. So I think just because I ended on that note, but the check-in meeting's such a pleasant surprise. Really cool again to see the managers lean in and want to help other managers and then be so open in the things that they were struggling with or had questions about or needed a best practice on. So that was a pleasant surprise. I was really happy to see that. As far as a challenge, so I feel like all good trainings have this, but every time I go through it, it doesn't make it easier. But so this training had it really required some honesty and just being truthful, going through it and filling out the questions, the reflection exercises, and just being really, really honest about it. And I have a good example. I think it was the section of building trust, and there is a reflection exercise that, 2 parts to it, requires the person going through the training to write down times that they didn't display trustworthiness. Mm-hmm. I mean,
the level of vulnerability that you have.
Yes, right. Like, I'm doing this, here we go. And I think the second part was, write down times where someone you worked with or worked for wasn't trustworthy. And so, and there's a good reason for these types of exercises. It helps the person relate to the concept. It really drives it home and ensures that they understand it. And like I said, all good trainings have it, but it doesn't make it easy, right? To be like, okay, this time I was not trustworthy, and writing it down and seeing it on paper. But it really helps drive home the point or the concept. And but that was a surprise and always a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, well, we were really intentional in the design of this course too about inserting those different reflection exercises. Mm-hmm. And that's really important for adult learning as well, as being able to like reflect on your own experience, think about what from that experience do you want to carry forward, and maybe what from that experience do you want to shift, and how can kind of new skills or new information help you be effective in doing that. So it sounds like, just like some words of wisdom though, too, for anyone who's like thinking about taking advantage of this, just be prepared to be honest with yourself too. And and that's how you get the most out of experiences as well.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Last question. What was your favorite part of the course, or what did you hear from your managers about what they loved?
Yeah. How about favorite parts? I'm not one to I don't have a favorite color or favorite food. I will give you a list.
Anyway, it's very hard for me to like a singular thing.
So I just being in HR and like being the one rolling out this training, I love that it was plug and play. I love that you purchase, you have a year to use it. You get pace calendars, you get sample emails. Yeah. You can copy and paste and send out. You get all the curated information that goes along with it that people need to know. So instructions on how to use the pace calendar, or here are the community chats that you can also be a part of. So I just love the plug and play aspect. It's just so easy to roll out, especially just having one headcount here on our HR team. That was big for us.
Well, that's really good to hear from you, because we aim to make our HR partners' lives easier.
Yes.
We're able to do that for you, just is like heartwarming.
Yeah, no, it definitely was an easy sell too for my team and executives. I also really liked the variety in the content presentation. So obviously you're reading, things, but there's like interactive graphics, there's exercises, you get a workbook, video clips. Those were cool. I really like those. I love that James Pratt and Gary Ford were featured, and I love those guys. It just was, they're cool. Yeah. It was just engaging, right? It was really interactive, and it just kind of kept you, engaged in the training, and that's how you learn your best, when you're really focused on it. And I think those are some of my favorite parts of the training.
Thank you for everything that you shared. You pointed out some like really great pieces that I didn't even necessarily have on my short list to share. And one thing that you did highlight that I'll just like give a little bit more detail about is for anyone who is thinking about supporting a group going through this course, we have developed a whole host of like supportive materials to make your life easier. So our team has like some brilliant name for it that's not coming to my mind, but essentially there's like a toolkit for whoever, is like the team or group sponsor. And like you said, Kelly, like it has sample emails. We give you an overview of the course. We have some best practices too about how to like engage and hold the team or group accountable as you're going through it. So I'm glad that you were able to take advantage of those as well.
Yes. No, it was, I highly recommend this training. For anyone out there looking to just do a quick refresh, quick introduction to all things management. And like I said, this was great for us because it's just really aligned all the knowledge amongst our manager group. And then the next step for us, which I know Reverb, I think, has options for this, but bringing someone in for like a more custom deep dive on a specific topic, feedback, coaching, whatever. And it's just nice to know that like we've set a similar strong foundation amongst all managers and we can just build on that. And it was easy and not super expensive. And
I think that's like, good. We love hearing that too, because it is nice to have something that's a little bit more of a budget friendly, like foundational offering. And then, when you are small, like you have to be really thoughtful about where you put your investment and resource. And so then you can maybe put it towards something that maybe is like a skill or a topic where the team really does want to deep dive further or have more practice. And we've done similar things for other clients where it is like, gosh, we really just now want to dive into like more work around giving and receiving feedback, or we really want to have like time to practice like developing our coaching skills. So well, Kelly, thank you so much for joining. This was less like scary than I think we both like thought it would be. So we now have a shared experience around in life together.
Check it off our bucket list. Check it on bucket list.
That's right. And I mean, maybe we had such a great time. We'll do another one.
I think we're ready for a TED Talk.
Well, thank you to everyone who either is with us here now or who is going to be watching this at a later date. I'll give a plug that Reverb is offering an end of summer sale on our Management Training 101 course. So it's 50% off. Drop a link in the comments with the discount information. And happy Friday to all. Thanks again, Kelly. It was so fun.
Thanks, Emily. Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Bye-bye. Bye.